once and I was about 10 minutes in and I realised I wasn't even live.
Yeah.
We're 10 minutes into the conversation and I always have to check with Jennifer that I'm live because she's going to tag everybody in the group inside it as well. So.
All right, okay. I've done that a couple of times.
Have you watched my live? Have you watched my lives before? Have you? Yeah, it's like I'm always like I'm alive. I think that's the first thing I say. So hashtag live if you're watching this tonight. And my wife Jennifer just about to tag everybody in, or it could be my son Lewis that does it actually. So I'm hoping my voice is loud enough for them all to hear it. So let me have a look. Let me see. Are we definitely live? So yeah, anybody watching can hashtag live as well. That always helps as well. So that then I definitely know that. Yes, Lewis. The conversation and I better shut myself up there. I could hear. I'm definitely live because I see Lewis has hashtagged everybody into that as well. So let's get the party started. It's 8:30, and I'd like to just welcome everybody to tonight's live. I'm super excited to have you all here. Quick introduction to who I am. My name's Daniel Renton, and I'm a transformational expert at Momentum Energy Weight Management Online. I've been coaching women like Carol for over 20 years. Started working in the health club industry in 1998. I even did my work experience in 1995 in a health club when I was at school. So it's always been something I've been passionate about. Meet Bonnie. Bonnie's our mascot. She's been on the last couple of lives. She's 15 weeks, I think she is today, actually. So, and she's behaved like this all the time. She's just perfect, you know. I've got her, Carol. I've got her in like puppy training. And it's like boot camp, you know. Here, it's like drills in the morning. Before I get in, we've got a dog trainer, and we were at puppy school on Monday night. It was a Christmas party night, and we came runners up in the sit prize for the quickest. It was like musical, like it was to the music. You switched the music off and just the set. We came runners up there. We came first in the lie down. So she likes treats, so it's like quite easier to get her to lie down because she just follows the treats, you know. We won the musical chairs. Well, I won the musical chairs. I kind of bumped a little old lady off, you know, to get to the seat. We weren't really good at the musical statues. But anyway, cut a long story short, I'm away off on a tangent. Yeah, just tell me to shut up, pull it back in. Hashtag if you're live, hashtag if you're watching this on replay. This isn't about me, this is about Carol. So I'm just going to introduce you to our client, Carol. Carol, tell me a bit about yourself, where you're from, like how you heard about me, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So Carol Blythe, I'm from Dunfermline in Scotland, and I've been working with Daniel one-to-one since the start of August. And I heard about Daniel because my friend recommended him. She had also worked with Daniel previously with good results. And yeah, Daniel came up in the conversation, so I thought I'd give it a bash.
Brilliant. Awesome. So let's dial back to then, let's go back to May, roughly it was, wasn't it? Kind of like walk me through what you were struggling with before kind of starting and how you reached out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I guess I'd always been naturally slim and fit up until my 20s. And when I hit my 30s and got married and had kids and work was hard, that all kind of got pushed to the back of the pile. And so, yeah, it wasn't really a priority in my 30s. And I guess I looked at other people who still did all that and exercised. And I was a little bit frustrated because I couldn't work out why I didn't have the willpower to do that as well. And so gradually, I wouldn't say I put on a huge amount of weight, but it bothered me that I was probably heavier than I was in my 20s. And so I tried various things. And then when lockdown started, at the start of lockdown, I thought, great, I've got all this extra time. I'm going to lose a stone. I'm going to go fit. And like most people did, I probably treated myself more often because we were in lockdown and bored. And so what I found was rather than losing that stone in lockdown, I actually put on a stone and a half. So, and what happened was I'd been away to Rome. So it was the first time in a few years that I'd been abroad. And I went to Rome earlier this year. And I was really frustrated because I thought, I've got actually no clothes to fit me to go on a break like that. Went on the break, and while I was there, I was having a little moan to my friend Alison, and she recommended you when the sugar detox came in. I think that was April time. So I started the detox and found that actually I really liked the principles of the eating that you do. And that was the initial boost that I had. And I did notice a lot of good things happened with that. And when I came back from holiday in July, that was when I thought, right, okay, I need to do something about the exercise side of things as well. And that's kind of where we got to where we are.
Awesome, fantastic. So what was different about this approach to what you've done before then in the past? Like, what have you tried to fix this? What had you tried to fix the weight problem that you had?
Yeah, so less formally, I suppose I just tried to be good, and that didn't work too well all the time. I also tried Slimming World, which was fine in the short term, but what I tended to find was that the sort of principles of the food, that the way that you manage the food didn't sit well with me, so that I kind of gave up on. The other one that I tried was the Joe Wicks 90-day plan, and when I started the exercise for that, I had to work from home for 2 days because I actually couldn't walk up and down the stairs in the house. I was that sore. Once I got into it, I quite enjoyed it, but the food was expensive to do and it really took a lot of prep work. And I had to take a month off from the exercise because there was various things going on. And when I thought, right, I need to get back into this, I actually couldn't face getting back into it because the pain of starting it the first time was in the forefront of my mind. And that was probably the last thing I tried not too long before the lockdowns, before I hooked up with yourself. Yeah.
So, like, why do you think that then wasn't, like, you weren't able to keep that going then? You talked about, like, was it because it was extreme? Is that kind of why you weren't able to sustain that method then?
I think so. I think from the food perspective, it was too much effort. So because I was working and the kids were busy and all that, I didn't have time to spend hours on end preparing food for the next day or things like that. And from the exercise perspective, I think I just didn't know how to work with how my body felt. So if I was tired but I felt I had to really do this, or if I had a break, it just seemed so extreme to get back into. So for me, it felt a bit all or nothing, the program. I think that's probably what the problem was.
I think often, like, these programs that a lot of people get stuck doing, the kind of all or nothing programs, you know, where you do great for 4 weeks, and the problem is that, like, well, what happens when you go on holiday, or, you know, you have to take a month off or whatever, and how do you then find your way back to the program again, and you just end up back to where you were before you started the program a month later. You know, I think that's where a lot of the problems. Like, what was different about what we done over here then in terms of, like, how our approach worked?
So there were two things that happened. Excuse my child, just to walk in there. Always happens. So there were two things. First of all, I did the sort of sugar detox to start with and got used to the principles round about the eating. And I lost weight with that just by itself. But what I really noticed with that was how much sugar affected my gut. Like, I would feel sore and bloated. My stomach really felt sore with that before I went on the sugar detox. And the other thing it taught me was the difference between feeling stuffed from a meal and just feeling satisfied. And actually what I realized was, again, if I feel stuffed with a meal, that felt really uncomfortable as well. So I think that the principles of the eating worked for me. And I like my food, so the fact that I was eating often suited me as well. I didn't like to have big gaps between my food. I think for the exercise perspective, sustainability absolutely was the thing that I wanted. And before I signed up with you, we talked about this a little bit, that, you know, how do I recover from gaps and things like that. And so what I found was that the starting, almost scaling back what you did and building it up, and then having almost a pause and reworking it, if you like, for the next set, that kind of worked with me. And I guess that for me it was, okay, what if I do stop this? How do I get back into it? And obviously, so in October I fell down some stairs and did my ankle and shoulder in, and we had to take a break there. And when I was starting to get back into exercise after that, I didn't find it hard getting back into it mentally. I thought it was okay to do. So again, that kind of proved to me during this 12 weeks that actually it was sustainable. And I think the other thing is when I was doing it with you for this, I'm quite a sociable person. So, as you know, and I didn't stop socialising and go all out for these 12 weeks and do nothing else. I have socialised regularly right through the 12 weeks, quite frequently. And what I've done is, you know, if I've been having a night out or a day out, I've been having a night out or a day out, and that's that. But the next day I get up, have my porridge for breakfast, I do my eating points just as I always would, and I get back in it. And so because I know that I can have the occasional socialising event and I don't feel guilty about it afterwards, that again makes me feel it's sustainable. Sorry, I've probably talked a bit much.
No, that was great. That's brilliant. You know, it's non-restrictive and you've kind of not gone from zero to hero, and that is how the plan works effectively, you know, that we want you to be able to sustain this for the rest of your life. So going back to the struggles then, in terms of like what's changed for you then since you started the plan, then what's changed for you? What's been the biggest change for you?
So I think from the food side, it has been really attuned to how my body feels when I eat certain things. And so sometimes if I do eat something that upsets or, you know, would give me a sore stomach, it's more my digestive system. I can feel it inflamed. I think, all right, okay, note taken, back to the other kinds of foods. And for the exercise, I actually quite enjoy the exercise now, which has surprised me. So rowing and other exercises, rowing was the key thing that we did because that's the equipment that I had for me, and I know that you tune it to the person, and I actually quite like going out at the end of work and going on the rowing machine and working off the day's frustration. So I enjoy the exercise, which is quite surprising for me, whereas more in the past it would be because I was doing it as a social thing, you know.
It's interesting. I want to talk about the exercise because I've really had a couple of moments this week, you know, with clients, etc. And I actually done this on a live earlier on. I was talking about it, like, you know, like that method that we use, the linear method that helps to release the fat, because you've dropped like what 28 pounds, and you know you can see it in you as well, actually, in the pictures, and you can see it in your face now how light you look, you know, how glowing you are just now. And I think all too often, Carol, is that people put all their eggs into that exercise basket. So you addressed the nutrition first, really. You talked about that with the sugar detox, learning the method, the 5-point nutrition method. First, that was the first thing that you dialed in. Then you dialed in the exercise. Does that make sense? Does that sound about right? Anyway, I had a client in last week, and this person had lost, they had maintained for the week. They've been doing the program for like 12 weeks. Great results, by the way, like, you know, talking 4-5% body fat and like 8 kilos lost. Anyway, they were training every day, 5 days a week in the gym, smashing themselves. So I says, this week I want you to take your foot off the gas. Not stop, but we reduced everything. And we actually took out the weights for a week, the weight training for a week. And we just done 30 minutes on the bike, low intensity, told the person to go for a swim in a sauna. So they're spending half an hour like self-care, being nice to themselves. 2.8% body fat reduction, 1.2 kilograms loss in a week by doing less. And the person was like, so what should I do this week? Should I do more exercise? Should I went, no, we've just won 5-0. Like, we're going to keep it the same team for this week because ultimately your goal is to lose the fat, isn't it? Yeah, okay, great. Let's keep it going. So my point is that exercise extremely puts more pressure on the body, and it can actually have a detrimental effect on your result. So that's why actually, like, my training is stop-start as well. Like, I have built up, I have recovery. I want to give my body time to recover so that I don't burn out, I don't injure. You know, it will stop you from burning fat. Like, when you're putting your body under pressure all the time. And that's where I think people go wrong, Carol, is that they go all their eggs into this exercise basket. I think for fat loss, it's the nutrition. For good health and strength and getting fitter, you need to make sure that you're listening to your body and being intuitive. So I recognized that he was tired, and he told me he was tired. So I changed his plan up, and then I got a better result this week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So talk through the results. Alison said hello, by the way. I seen come up. try and do the Q&As at the end, but since she said hello, I seen her hashtag come up there. So she said hello. Hi, Alison. Thank you for finding Carol for me, and like, yeah, I'm sure Carol's thanking you for finding me as well. So thank you, really appreciated, and I hope you're sticking to the momentum and listening to what Carol's saying here as well. So, like, talk about your results. Walk me through what's changed then in terms of your results and how you feel now. You were struggling to get into your wardrobe, etc. Your self-esteem kind of.
Yeah. Well, as you put up on the post, I've gone down the dress sizes. So I had a large wardrobe of clothes that were sitting in a drawer under my bed from the start of lockdown, because I couldn't fit into them. So they're now back in my wardrobe and all getting used, which is good. And I'm wearing clothes that I feel good in, rather than ones that I would wear to cover myself up. I think that the other thing, so as well as how I feel in the clothes, because obviously I've lost 1.5 stone doing the 12-week program, and I'd lost another 0.5 stone before that. So I've lost the weight, but actually I probably will lose some more weight doing this. I think that'll happen over the next few months. But I've kind of moved away from worrying about what my weight is, just to how I feel. And because when I think back to before I exercised, I was quite lethargic. I would love a little nap on the sofa in the afternoon if I sat down and things like that. Whereas now I feel much more energized and kind of, lighter and more energized. So I think that for me is an important thing as well, you know.
I think energy is massive, actually, Carol. I actually done a testimonial with a client that I'm working with. She's in America, actually, but we've done a recording. I've not posted it yet, actually. And her goal was to actually improve her energy levels. It's massive. Like, you know, you're right. If you're carrying this extra weight, you're not eating the right foods, your sugar balance is up and down, and you're all over the place, you're stressed out, you're working too much, you're not taking time to rest, recover, you're not taking time to do a little bit of exercise for your health, then, you know, it'll affect your energy levels. And for people watching this tonight, like, you know, inside this Transformation Academy, like in my welcome post, it's in the pin on this page. I've actually got a welcome post, and there's 3 webinars in there. Webinar number 1, it talks about like how to rebalance your hormones so that you can balance your blood sugar curve, the stuff that Carol's learned on this process. There's a training webinar in there, pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 in there as well, same place as a training on the exercise method that we've been talking about. And pillar number 3 is actually how we can reverse engineer out. I heard somebody mention yo-yo dieting, I think, in how you can reverse engineer out of yo-yo dieting so that you've got a sustainable approach. And we do that by, we've got an education, we educate people on how to eat properly. So what and when they're eating, we don't count calories, macros, or do anything that. It's just simply healthy eating. So for those people watching, so what would you say to those people watching on the fence, Carol? What would you say to them? Like they were you 6 months ago, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say just put your faith in the sort of process. You know, don't worry about too far down the line, just take it a week at a time. And one thing that I did when I signed up was I didn't actually think of, you know, okay, this is what I'm paying and signing up to 12 weeks. It was, well, I'm 51. If I make it to 80, it's 30 years that I'm going to get the value out of this. So think long term on it, you know, because even if you do have, after you've done it, if you do have a period where you fall off the wagon, or however you want to describe it, just you can go back to the same principles and start it again. So I do think it's a tool for the rest of your life. Yeah.
I love that, like long term, you know, because that's something I try and drum into people all the time, you know, that long term plan. You know, for those watching, I'm going to have a bit of a confession as well. In 2021, you know, I've been coaching in person for over 20 years, and then I kind of just went fully online, and I let myself slip as well. So I've actually lost 30 pounds this year, following the method and following the tools and the skills, you know, that I know this process does work, you know, and it is for a long term. And it's taken me 10 months to get back to feeling back to myself again, and my energy levels, like yourself, Carol, have really, I don't really share it a lot, because the only thing is, like, where did the bloody 30 pounds come from in the first place? Like, you know, like I was doing Ironman in 2020, you know, before the pandemic, you know, and then all of a sudden boom, you know, I think it got me, I think because I was just so active before, doing 20, 30 hours exercise a week, to then, well, I don't want to mention 2021, it never happened. So any questions for anybody that's watching tonight? Has anybody got any questions? I'm just going to double check this, Carol, if anybody's got any Q&As. Let's have a look. There's quite a few people commenting tonight. So well done, Carol. Alison said hi. Hail to the less exercise. Great listen, Mark. McLean, especially for me, was a yo-yo diet type of person. Valerie, hello, Valerie. Mark, I get to about 4 weeks, loses some weight and then seem to go slowly creep back on again. And Alison's the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. 100%, Alison. I think that is absolutely essential. So just to wrap up, I'm actually looking for 3 more people who are ready to change like Carol. And, you know, I always have, I've got a plan for you, the Weight Loss Accelerator program, and to overcome anybody's objections that it's Christmas time and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm going to bring you in now, but your official start date is not going to be until the 9th of January. So I'm going to start coaching you now. And what we can do is make small adjustments, because this isn't an all or nothing approach, as Carol said. It's we start making small adjustments. Carol came in and started to make small adjustments first. In fact, actually, Carol done our sugar detox challenge, which was free. We've done that in April last year. And she actually got the results before even coming on board the plan by actually following the system. So that to me shows it works. I love getting results before actually bringing people on board. That makes it even more exciting for me. So yeah, I'm looking for ambitious people, the 5% of go-getters, and the other 95% people that aren't ready to make change and make a different direction. Because this isn't a diet. You're not going on a diet. This is something you've got to be able to do for the rest of your life. So it's like Christmas is going to be here every single year. I said that last week on the live, and I've been coaching in the industry for over 20 years. So I was doing a spin class last night, and we were having a laugh. Like, the people that were there are like regulars, and we had one girl that was actually there and that started to join the club in January. And it's kind of like one person's made it that joined in January. So don't wait till January. Start now. Start making healthier choices now, because it is about making choices. It's not about a diet. You can still have Carol's. Like, gosh, I mean, honestly, our social life's crazy. It's insane. Like, I'm not out as much as you, Carol. Like, it's just mental. Like, you know, but she was still able to have a little bit of she was still able to have the social life, and I'm pretty certain she was probably dialing it in. And even if it's the next again day and not going, I think, like I say, at this time of year, everybody goes crazy, and it's like we overindulge, and it's like you end up feeling you have a hangover in January, and you might do the vegan January or the dry January and all this kind of stuff, and you just end up back in the same boat this time next year. Nothing changes, and you end up in the same position. Keep doing what you've always done. You'll always get what you've always got. So I've got a solution for you guys. Reach out to me. Is there any other questions? I've seen there's a few people commenting there as well. Would you have anything else to add there?
No, nothing for me. I would just say give it a bash if you can, definitely.
I've got one question from Mark here as well. He said, knowing what to eat is very important. A lot of good food is expensive, and knowledge of what to eat is massively important. 100%, Mark. You know, what I would say with that is that, like, you know, nothing's complicated on this plan. Like, you know, when people say to me, like, you know, I've had like some turkey slices today with salad and coleslaw this morning. I had a prawn salad. I've had about 3 satsumas. I've had an apple, I've had some almonds, and I've had homemade soup, you know, and I've been grazing all day, but all that's quite cheap. Like, you know, like a box of tangerines, it was like a couple of quid, like literally a box of tangerines. So in terms of eating healthily, like, I don't think it needs to be expensive. Like, bananas are cheap. I can buy a pack of bananas for £1. Like, and I can just graze on fruit and veg all day, you know. So it doesn't have to be overly complicated, Mark, and overly expensive. And I think, like Carol highlighted with the body coach, and I think the problem with these kind of plans is that they are expensive. You're having to spend more money. You're having to prep meals, and like, I don't personally have time for that. Like, you know, my prawn salad was quite easy, and so was my turkey salad. I opened up a packet, and I opened up a packet of salad, and that was done the same for both. But it's, yes, you could argue it's slightly processed, but it's quality processed. I'm going for. I'm making quality choices. It's not. I don't have good or bad foods. I have high quality foods or low quality foods, and all my foods this day have been all high quality. I can still have some low quality foods. Like yesterday, I'll have a laugh. Before that spin class, I'd done my dumbbells beforehand, and they weren't the kind of metal ones, they were chocolate dumbbells. Got them as a gift, they were quite tasty. So I can still have a little bit of chocolate. I can still, like, I just don't kick the backside out of it. Like if I've had chocolate, then I move on. I've not had chocolate today. I don't have it every day, but I have 8% of my diet still is a bit of junk food. I think you've got to allow for some of the nice, like say nice stuff, some of the junk in life. It's like, it's normal. I think that's the key. So that's a good question there, Mark, as well. Hope that answers that for you. Carol achieved her goals while admittedly enjoying a busy social life, which shows it's not a diet. Brilliant, Alison. That's exactly it. Yeah, 100%. I think that all too. I'll give you another story. Actually, I know I'm drifting on here. We'll finish up in a few minutes, I promise. But I'll tell you another story, Carol. Majority of my clients, like you're in Dunfermline and I'm over here in Edinburgh, so the chances of us bumping into each other in Tesco's are very, very slim. Now, most of my clients are all over the UK. I've got clients all over the UK, but I do have some local. So I'm in Tesco's the other day and I'm doing my shopping and I'm going around, and like my shopping trolley is good. It's really clean. You know, and I went past the crisp aisle and I thought, you know what? I actually had some Terry's chocolate orange at the weekend, and I thought, you know what? I don't need the crisps. So I never bothered with the crisps, because if I buy the crisps, then I'm just going to eat them at the end of the day. I've got a rule, you can't eat what you don't buy. Anyway, it goes around the corner. My wife messaged me saying that I forgot the peppers. Gets to the peppers. There's one of my clients. I'm not going to mention her name, but she was at the fruit bit as well, which was quite lucky for her, you know. But what was also great was that her shopping bag was full of good stuff, and so was mine, you know, and I was able to even show her, like, here's mine, and she was able to show like what she's got. And what she said to me, she's actually dropped I think around about 2 stone as well, Carol, actually. And what she said is exactly what Alison said, is that it's great she's not on a diet. For once in her life, she's not on a diet, she's not restricted, because as soon as you say the word diet to her, like, she'll last 4 weeks and she's on it or she's off it, she's on it or she's off it, rather than. So that was the purpose of my storytelling there. But yeah, it was quite funny. Like, she was just as well. I never had rubbish in my trolley, and I was like going around throwing things out as I was going along, you know. Or she was doing that, you know. Things flying out, you know, everywhere. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, I thought I'd share that. It's not a diet. You're absolutely right. 100%. It's a way of life. And there's Alison as a testimony as well. She done her program back in 2020, I think it was, actually. It might have been before the pandemic or maybe after. I can't remember, actually. But yeah, and she's managing to sustain it in that healthy lifestyle. And you're right about picking up the book as well. So it's another good one as well. I'm just going to jump in. Is if people have done the program before, you can pick it up again. Pick up the notebook and pen, start writing down your food, start logging it, follow the process. The process works. It doesn't work if you're not writing it down. You know, that's one thing I would say. It does, the system works, but you've got to follow it. Shelley, it's not a diet, it's a process. That's the way. Yeah, I quite like it, like how she's worded that. Shelley's been on the program for, in fact, to be honest with you, her results have just been mind-blowing, and she's lost like 11 kilograms in like 4 weeks or something like that, or 5 weeks. It's just been insane. And it's amazing. You're right, it's a process. That's the way I look at it. It's a process to follow. There's got to be some guides, like, you know, like eating little and often and hitting those 5 eating points. And like, you know, I can just say it's a free for all, eat what you want. Like, I want you eating what you want, but like, I'm not going to be eating chocolate dumbbells like for the whole 5 eating points kind of thing. Like, you know, the rest of my day was good. So it's about making good choices. So I think that's pretty much us for tonight. I think I'll wrap up. No further questions, anybody? It's like that was like no further questions, like your honor, you know. Carol, well done. Congratulations. Let's just keep that momentum going. You've got your challenge as well. You know, we'll be sharing Carol's challenge in here. She's doing a challenge, a rowing challenge. Well, you've not told anybody yet, have you, or Matty? Have I just dropped you in it?
No, that's okay. I'm doing the Dodie challenge for 6 weeks in January, rowing every day to try and raise money for that charity.
Great. I'll be sharing that in this page, because like, I'm a huge fan of doing things for charity. I done Rob Roy for Macmillan Cancer last year. I love doing things for charity, and I think it's 30 minutes a day rowing. Let's go for it. I think it's going to be great for you. But yeah, we'll be sharing it in here, and please like dig deep and put in, because it's a great cause, you know. And yeah, dig deep, and I'll be sharing that post. So well done, Carol. Look forward to working with you on that in the new year. Excellent, brilliant. Thanks again. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Cheers.
Thank you.